We're here with Jordon Underhill, General Manager and Founder of Canadian Dairy Expo. Canadian Dairy Expo is in its 6th year. Jordan, maybe you can tell us how it's grown and how it's changed over these 6 years.
For sure. There's no question over the 6 years the Canadian Dairy Expo has evolved and grown in a positive way, sticking to a dairy focus and content. I think it's very similar to the Canadian dairy industry. It's ever-changing with innovation and knowledge, and we need to keep up to the industry itself. So the show evolves much like the industry does.
What have been some of the major changes over the years?
Major changes are just expansion of the facility. Of course, we built the Cow Coliseum, which was a major commitment to that site that we're staying in Stratford, and so definitely that, some parking improvements that were much needed, and then just incorporating international innovation to ensure that Canadian dairy producers have access to international innovation and also concepts.
And what's new, or what are some of the main highlights for the 2018 show?
Yeah, if you get the milk producer, which most producers do that are shipping milk in Canada, you would have got in March the show program, which has all the highlights for the show. But we'll talk about, let's call it a top 10 list of things that are new and happening at this year's Canadian Dairy Expo. Number one is Junior Farmers is offering VIP parking first thing in the morning, so there will be a section capped at about 150 cars where Junior Farmers will be offering parking right beside the facility to exhibitors and producers. The fee is $5 and 100% of the proceeds go to Junior Farmers. So that's something new to accommodate incoming producers and exhibitors. The Purina Dairy Classroom is actually moving from Hall 1 upstairs, which we believe is a positive move in terms of ensuring that there's some privacy and some focus to the education, but also allowing us to bring in more international innovation into the show. So there's about 12,000 or 12,500 new square feet of innovation in Hall 1. Companies from Israel, the UK, Australia, etc. So that'll be new. The Peterson Farm brothers are coming from the US, which have quickly become internet sensations and are traveling the world with their positive message about agriculture. So they'll be at the show both mornings, speaking in the dairy classroom right after breakfast. So the breakfast is still in the classroom, and the Peterson Farm brothers will kick off that program both mornings. So excited to have them there at the show this year. Outside in the outdoor demo area, that continues to grow with the equipment getting bigger. And companies wanting to showcase more product line, etc. So we're actually going to have a self-loading TMR demo in the outdoor exhibit area this year with JLore and their unit, and actually showing a facing of a simulated bunk. So that'll happen once a day on both days. Make sure you check that out. In the Cow Coliseum, which is, again, forever evolving with new technology. The robot companies have come together, so the traditional milking robot companies, there's 4 of them in that Cow Coliseum, and they've come together to talk about robotics beyond the traditional box-style robotics related to parlors, but also to talk about where robotics in dairy is going in the future, whether that's milking, manure, feed, and what's coming down the pipe. So that'll be quite interesting. There's also 3 genetic companies that traditionally showcase cows in the Cow Coliseum. They'll continue to do that. But as a new element, they're also going to be showcasing heifer calves, and those heifer calves will be for sale. So Vogue, EastGen, and also Select Sires will have heifer calf displays. Those calves will be on display. Some are high genomic, some are high type, some are a combination of both. So whether you're looking for a 4-H calf or a production cow, that'll be a new element in the Cow Coliseum. 4-H and junior farmers will continue to serve the commodity, milk and ice cream, grilled cheese, milkshakes at the show, and they're ramping up. There's a new display that Norwell's helping us out to build in Hall 2. And again, they'll control the food on site and use that as a much-needed fundraiser. The last component that's brand new for the show this year that we see continuing on for some time is the Ag Careers Resume Blitz. So on day 2, in the morning from 9 until 11 o'clock, both students, professionals from the industry can bring their resumes to the show, and between that 2-hour period on day 2, can drop resumes off at identified exhibitors throughout the show. So the exhibitors pre-book that they want to be involved. They'll be designated with an Ag Careers button at their booth during that 2-hour period, and you can distribute resumes over the 2 hours. So again, we're just trying to find ways to connect industry with producers and young professionals that are already coming to the show, but that'll formalize that connection a little bit more. And I think finally, the question comes, why attend the Canadian Dairy Expo? And yes, there's the innovation. Yes, there's the education. But we think equally as important, there's an opportunity to connect and socialize both between producers and also with industry. And that sharing of information, sharing of success stories, sharing of challenges, I think is really important, especially nowadays with operations getting bigger, biosecurity. A trade show such as the Canadian Dairy Expo allows industry and producers to come together under one roof and connect and share.
And the show has grown. How many people did attend it last year, and whereabouts did they come from, a lot of the audience?
Yeah, good question. So exhibitors, there's 350 come from around the world. I think we're at about 36 different countries now. And producers, again, it's a Canadian product, the Canadian Dairy Expo, so our primary target is Canadian producers, but definitely welcome producers from the U.S. and Europe, etc. And so what we've seen over the first 5 years is that radius really grow from, an hour or an hour and a half radius around Stratford to every province in the country and into the U.S. The date change into April has definitely helped with that to make a more conducive time to travel. And we see that radius continuing to grow. We were at just over 16,000 attendees last year. Of course, there's only about 15,000 dairy farms now in Canada and shrinking, but we expect that 16,000 number to climb closer to 20,000 because, of course, it's incremental across family members, and now the show is pulling from outside of Canada as well.
And if people wanted to get more information about the show, where should they go? Yeah,
Facebook page, the Dairy Expo Facebook page, your Twitter page, also dairyexpo.ca, of course, for the full list. And again, take a look in your milk producer if you haven't had time yet. The full program is there. We distribute it before the show so you can properly plan for your family to efficiently attend the Dairy Expo in April.
And the dates of the show this year, right?
April 4 and 5. Quite excited to show you the offer we have this year in 2018.